Hey guys, it's me again, and this will be the last video that I post on this channel for 2011. So I want to start off by wishing everyone a Happy New Year. Now in this video, I want to talk about some of the films I actually did see and enjoy in 2011, as well as some of the films I'm looking forward to in 2012. But before I do that, I also want to reflect back on the way that my channel has ended up in 2011. And basically it boils down to the fact that I didn't post a single movie review in the entire year of 2011. In fact, I actually bought a better camera, and then my video quality got lower because I started using Photo Booth because it was quicker and easier. And so far this year, with the fact that my old job and the fact that I started on campus and moved to Florida, I ended up with absolutely no time for making videos and sort of just kind of stopped. Now, I did try to make a couple comebacks. In fact, my first comeback was attempted last Christmas. If some of you remember the video where my friend Kyle and then Carl, my serial killer stalker, were trying to take over my channel. If you don't remember that video, I posted a link down below. It is unlisted, but basically the idea was it was supposed to set up for a comeback, and we never filmed the rest of it because we ran out of time. Basically was what happened there. And I actually I even filmed a movie review that I never posted because I could never get the audio to sync up with the video. So I had technical problems, and so I was like, forget it. Now, in spite of all of that, I'm also very disappointed how I've made several excuses and several promises that I haven't followed up on. So I do want to say that in 2012, I do have a couple of resolutions set up to make extreme changes to how I review movies and things regarding to YouTube, basically. And I am planning on making a video sometime in January explaining in full detail my plans for future movie reviews, basically. So I am going to save all those details for a later video. Now, to talk about the films I did actually see in 2011, my top 5 favorite films of 2011. Number 5 would be Thor. Now, I do know that a lot of people didn't like Thor, and I can understand why a lot of people don't like it. However, I enjoyed it very much. I really enjoyed everything that had to do with Asgard. Now, the things that happened on Earth, I really didn't care about, and yes, the film was very cheesy, but I found it to be cheesy in a good way. I enjoyed Thor's character, but most of all, I enjoyed Loki as a villain. I don't know what it was. I've never seen that actor in anything else before, but I loved Loki as a character. I thought he was a cool bad guy. And I liked the whole special effects, the fact gods were fighting. I thought, the action sequences were really cool. And, I enjoyed the film. And I actually did see that one in IMAX in 3D, and the 3D actually wasn't bad. Number 4 would be Captain America. Now, Captain America was right up there with Thor for me, except for it was just slightly better. I enjoyed, Steve Rogers, the character. I enjoyed his struggle and his desire to want to do good things. I thought the acting was good. Visually, it was good. And it had a good story, and I really liked it. I wasn't very aware of Captain America before. I knew he existed, but I didn't read any of the comics, and I don't know if there was even a show. And there was actually a film in 1990. It looks terrible, but so I didn't know too much about Captain America, but I loved the movie. Number 3, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I actually didn't see this movie until last week when we rented it on demand. But, oh my god, Rise of the Planet of the Apes was fantastic. Now, the first 10 minutes of the film, I was looking at it and I was like, okay, CGI ape, CGI ape, CGI ape. And I was like, okay, this is not good because I don't buy the CGI apes. But after a while, it worked. Like I could easily identify them as CGI for some reason. I don't know, but I don't know. I guess it just took a while for it to click. I don't know what happened, but once I got into the story, I was blown away. I thought James Franco did a fantastic job, and Andy Serkis, oh my god, he is some kind of missing link between like ape, man, and god. I don't know what it is, but that man is amazing. If you don't know who Andy Serkis is, he is the actor who portrayed the voice and the actions of Gollum from Lord of the Rings and the upcoming Hobbit film. He also was the physical actor for King Kong in Peter Jackson's remake of King Kong in 2005, and then he played Caesar in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. In my opinion, Rise of the Planet of the Apes is the best Planet of the Apes film since the original. And, you know, it might even be better for some of you people than the original if you don't like older films. You know, I've seen all of the Apes films, with the exception, I think, of Part 5, which I think was Battle for Planet of the Apes. I know I've seen the first 3 multiple times, and then I saw the 4th one once, and I saw parts of the 5th one. There was some kind of marathon on AMC or something. And then the Tim Burton remake, which is just puts a bad taste in my mouth. But by far, best Apes film since the original. Number 2. Now, I really did consider this one to be number 1, but I have to put it at number 2, and that would be Super 8. I love J.J. Abrams, I love Steven Spielberg, and I love Super 8. I thought the film was well shot, the acting was fantastic, the story was good, the special effects, the cinematography, everything was just amazing. And I have nothing else to say. It was just a great time at the movies. In fact, I remember sitting in the theater and realizing how long it had been since a movie had enthralled me so much. Because there was an aspect of the film where the kids, they were making a film in the movie. And so you had scenes of them acting badly, and then you had scenes where they were acting so good. And so you forget that these children actors are having to act as these characters who are pretending to be bad actors. I don't know if that makes sense. All I know is I was completely enthralled in the movie. I loved it to death, and I can't wait to see what J.J. Abrams does next, which I think is Star Trek 2, which I can't wait for that either, because that was my favorite film of 2009. And number 1, my favorite film of the year is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Oh my god, that movie was so good. It might be my favorite out of the entire film franchise. Now, I've only read the first 4 books, and it's been like 10 years or so since I've read them. So don't talk about the books with me, because I don't know all the details. I don't know the flaws with all the films. All I know is, for me, I think Deathly Hallows in the Part 2 was probably my favorite, because there's a certain aspect of the Harry Potter films that kind of bother me, especially with The Prisoner of Azkaban, like the time travel thing, and just some of the BS explanations for stuff. I just don't really like a lot of that stuff. And I do love like the action and the character dynamics. I love all that stuff. You know, I think Prisoner of Azkaban should have been the best, but the time travel just gets me every time. It throws me right out of the movie, and the paradoxes and all that crap. It bugs me. But Deathly Hallows Part 2 luckily had an entire film of all the explaining and all the story elements, stuff like that, that Part 2 was just straight character interaction, action, and just, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. So that would be my favorite film of 2011. Now, I didn't see a whole lot of films, and honestly, I can't even put together a top 5 least favorite, but I can tell you my least favorite film of 2011, and that was Sucker Punch. Now, Sucker Punch, I was so looking forward to. The trailer was right up my alley. I am a super geek nerd, whatever you want to call me, video game nerd. My favorite anime is Dragon Ball Z, so I love all that over-the-top action and just crazy visuals, and so I was really looking forward to Sucker Punch, and when I got to the movie, I was so disappointed. It was just, I even went to the midnight premiere for that, and the story was a mess, the acting was terrible, there was no tension. All the action sequences that the trailer made look awesome were boring. Every single scene, all of that whole fantasy action video game stuff was boring because we knew that none of it was real and none of it mattered, and so there was no tension. There was nothing to be gained from it. It was just pointless. It was like someone taking their keys and just shaking it in front of the camera. It was just, there was no point to any of it, and so I just was so disappointed by that film. Now, some of the films I am looking forward to in 2012, however, would be, I have actually top five most anticipated films for 2012. Number 5, Skyfall, which is the next James Bond film. Now, I'm kind of a noob to James Bond because, honestly, I hadn't seen any of them until maybe a year ago when I saw Casino Royale, and I really enjoyed it, so I went back and tried to catch up on a couple. So I've seen Casino Royale, I have Quantum of Solace on Blu-ray, and I'm just really looking forward to Skyfall. Number 4, Prometheus. That looks so good. Ridley Scott. The trailer has amazing cinematography. It doesn't show you much, but it sets the tone for the film. And it's a throwback to the original Alien trailer. And I've seen the original Alien. I haven't seen Aliens or Alien 3. And I saw Alien vs. Predator, and that was just meh. But I can't wait for Prometheus. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic sci-fi, horror, thriller, whatever you want to call it. So Prometheus is number 4. Number 3, The Avengers, which of course is what the 5 Marvel films have been leading up to. We have Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Captain America, all wrapped up into one film, and I can't wait for The Avengers. Hopefully, it won't disappoint. Number 2, The Dark Knight Rises. This is going to make everyone forget about the Avengers. Chris Nolan, I don't know what he is, but he is not a man and has not made a movie that is bad. I don't know if it's possible, if he could, but The Dark Knight Rises is absolutely going to be, it's going to once again redefine comic book movies, if of course, everything is going how it looks like it's going. Now, of course, a lot of people are picking on Catwoman and the fact that you can't understand Bane. But then again, when The Dark Knight was about to come out, everyone was saying, how could Heath Ledger be the Joker? And then they said that the makeup looked stupid. So, you know, I trust Chris Nolan. Hopefully this movie is going to be amazing. And it's the final part of his trilogy, so it's going to be balls to the wall. There's no holding back in this film. And my number 1 most anticipated film for 2012 is The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, or The Hobbit Part 1. I've said it 1,000 times before. I will say it 1,000 times again. Lord of the Rings is my favorite movie. All 3 of them, one movie. Just so you clear that up. Tolkien wrote it as one book. Jackson filmed them together as one movie. It's one movie, 3 parts. Don't ask me to pick a favorite because they're all my favorite. And The Hobbit is just looking right along the same like wavelength. The trailer looks good. I did make a trailer reaction video. If you didn't catch it, there'll be a link right up here. And there's nothing else I can say. I can't wait for The Hobbit Part 1, and of course The Hobbit Part 2 will probably be my most anticipated film for 2013, if we survive that long. So there you have it. Those are my favorite films of 2011, my least favorite film, and my most anticipated films for 2012. So thanks for watching this video. Once again, it is far too long. So until next time, I will talk to you guys later, and have a Happy New Year.
Let's have a drink or maybe two or maybe